In these times, humanity is revealing itself as becoming increasingly indistinct. In spite of some assert this to be a what is called negative statement, reality will forever supersede any negative or even positive assertion. I am not afraid to see reality as it is, because when you are left with nothing to stand upon in which can challenge reality of its nucleus, despite of how difficult the moment is for this harsh but beautiful lesson, you will find within yourself, without purposely comparing a person who has become immensely aware and incredibly strong and called reclusive and evil consistently. However, being strong has no security, and that is the reality, because it holds a dual component. Weak, because time is a moving reality and an evolutionary device, as well as a decaying reality no matter of how much energy we tend to try to deny it. The same as the organism decays and is upon the journey of dying towards the ultimate death, so has humanity thrown down its gauntlet, in its effort to remain effective for the preservation of human dignity and integrity. I find myself more as I am present to be inspired, however the life journey imposes on my life, to go in a direction of where there is only myself. I always find my peace there. Just myself. Myself, and without the probability for betrayal upon a sense of self-destruction. There are some times of when betrayal is ordained for your journey. It is ordained for the sake of the lesson being of virtue for one to understand oneself for the sake of self-knowing, self-identity, as many have suffered the mental duality of feeling during the times of trial that the Creator of the universe must have created them as such, to turn onto the dark areas of the mind and spirit of where the individual will ultimately realize their purpose and who and what they are in fact. This is of course for many, the most critical time to allow the divine to lead one through the storm without losing themselves, before they have the opportunity to find themselves inherently. And considering of how much pain is remained inside of the human being, and of how they have identified themselves with it, this determines if they will choose to remain with their real identity, or allow the effects of the past mold their identity into what they have been made to feel, is their real state of totality, rather by essence is good or evil. Or both. Time is limited, and I am pleased because this journey has become a bit exhausting. It becomes exhausting due to previous programming of ceremonious monotony. It's all indoctrinated that sounds good, but empty words. No life force within words this day in the primary people whom claim themselves aware, conscious. I find feeling at moment that this earth a dwelling place of souls, forgotten by its maker, because all that we have done to this beautiful, gorgeous earth is harm it and have literally destroyed one another to the degree that we all hold pains inside which instead of having the love for ourselves and one another to heal them, we inflict the same pains upon each other that we received from another hurt and therefore, lost at the moment, brother or sister. Pain is a dual compartment as well, because there are some circumstances that we as humans go through. The zeal that is accumulated is in harmony with pain at times, is useful for an ultimate good cause. Matters are beginning to matter less and less this day inside of the majority, including those who claim righteous and free of any inner pains. Yes, it's true. Just look around at the corruption upon every level, as it has become so often, it is becoming a culture of moral decay. A trend of spiritual death. But, is that a sanction for one to give up upon their purpose and identity? When you are in a dark place in your life journey, you are capable of knowing that you are within a dark place only because of the light of the living power within you, despite of how secure, powerful or content it feels. The resolve lie within you. Be confident of what lies inside of you. You are the path which paves the way to clarity and therefore, freedom. You are that light in the midst of the darkness. It's you. We live in times of when things transpire that are perceived as unfortunate, is fortunate for others involved. I find the duality in this movement called living, and so because of its dual design, those pleasant times are not permanent nor are the unpleasant times. The movement, the ing, is a direct description of a moving and therefore living reality. A living, moving presence we are within. I find in this a dual compartment which contains individually a vital lesson which one and the other must learn for their minds to be risen into the state of emanate for the sake of being distinguished further into revealing portions of the self, so to never have to learn the primary meaning of what need to be done, to come to the place of where one can exist in this living experience in tranquility. What has been structured and established into power by this Western culture by our submission, rather it is money, the need for food or anything that we have been programmed to depend upon, rules the minds of the human beings to the degree that living has become more of a struggle than a pleasant venture. A struggle which many this day feel that if you lack anything that this Western culture deems as useful, valuable, or has substance to trade, then the human being looks upon one another as having no sustainability, no value. This of course is not true. Every experience holds a dual chamber imbued into it, where some will get it, some will not, as well as some get the lesson and yet still reject the truth of it because of ego or being narcissistic. The most dangerous act that anyone can commit is having an ulterior motive hidden from one whose intentions were innocent. One will find that what was expected was not only a fantasy, but a human being who is gravely inconsistent and cruel because of being ruled by the demands designed into this government system, in which causes a coldness in people, which to them feels justified. It feels justified because of the demands placed into the conditioning process for to rule as well as destroy the people who are the governed. The attack upon humanity itself. But this will all come to a close soon. It depends upon no one but ourselves. That is the biggest truth which has been hidden from the masses. Hold yourself together, because this was all put in place to pull you out of that place inside of where there is soundness of mind. Written by David Anthony Brayboy.